Hey everyone, just want to do a Tuesday Q&A. I do these every Tuesday. Post your questions below and I'll answer them in the next video. There is an FAQ section linked in the description below on my website. Be sure to check that out first because I'm not going to answer questions that are already answered on that section of the website. The next Tuesday Q&A is going to be on Independence Day here in the United States. It'll be on July 4th. Raphael, would you ever consider an electric van? I don't think that would really be possible because I wouldn't really have a way to charge it up overnight. I couldn't just like plug it into anything. So yeah, I don't think that would be possible, at least not at this point. But I guess in the future, if all vans and all vehicles become electric, then I'd probably have to consider that. But I don't know if that's going to happen for a while. George McVlog, I have heard Bob of Cheap RV Living talking about the most popular states to seek domicile. He mentioned South Dakota was one of the easiest for proof of residency, but it's a long way, so why not consider Nevada instead? South Dakota, I think, only requires you to spend one night in the state every 5 years in order to maintain your residency. So in order to get a license there, you just have to like rent a hotel for a night and you're good to go. They are actively trying to get people to come over there and add to their numbers of population and stuff like that. So I think they're very open to RVers and full-timers and stuff. Nevada, I believe it's a month. You have to spend a month there every year in order to keep your residency. So I'm pretty sure that's where Bob has his residency, and I think that he does, like maybe rent a campsite or something like that every, for a month, or an apartment or a motel, or I don't know, something like that. But that would be pretty expensive, so it's not something I would want to do. I'm not 100% sure if that's even true or not. I haven't really looked into it much. I've just kind of heard through word of mouth, but if it is true, I definitely wouldn't want to do Nevada. No Pro Go Pronto. Question, have you ever been to New York City? Yes, yeah, I have been. I've got a couple of friends from school that live there currently, and one of my best friends is from there originally, so I've been there quite a few times to explore and check it out. It's a really cool city. It is really overwhelming for me, though. There are so many people in New York. Whenever I go there, I'm there for a few days, and I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. I don't know if I would want to stealth camp or urban camp there. I think that might be a little bit too much. Lane the 13th. In a previous Q&A, you mentioned you visited Cleveland to check out a school. Which school? That was Baldwin Wallace College. I was a competitive swimmer all throughout high school, so I had an opportunity to possibly swim there on scholarship, but ended up deciding not to go there. But that was a school that I was checking out. Why did I choose Tulane? Tulane was far away from home. It was something out of the ordinary. It was going to be an adventure. New Orleans was in this like post-Katrina rebuilding phase right when I was going down there. I kind of just wanted that adventure of going to school, and it really was. It was an incredible experience. And when will Antine join you on the road? I don't know about that just yet. We've talked about it a little bit. It's in the back, the back of our minds, but it's not something that's like set in stone. We have really no idea. Probably not for a long while though. And then I just started going to church again. I was wondering, are you a churchgoer? Not really. No, not too frequently. The Mad Yoda. So I just spent the last 2 months building my van out. It's a 78 E150. I'm in San Diego, just got here today. Any suggestions on where I could crash? Everywhere I go says no overnighting. Yeah, the majority of those parks along Mission Bay and stuff like that are definitely no overnighting allowed. They're very, well, they all say that, but then there's like tons of RVs and stuff like that, so you probably can get away with it, but there's a chance that a cop could come through there and roll through one night just randomly out of the week and start knocking on windows and kicking people out and giving them tickets. So I don't know if I would risk it necessarily, but I've never had a problem with it. That being said, I do avoid those parking lots, all those parks and stuff like that. I'd much rather, just park street side. I stay in Pacific Beach and Ocean Beach more often than not. Find like a nice little area, I'll just parallel park, slide right into a little dark, quiet residential area, spend the night there, and then move on the next morning. I always change it up, but yeah, any kind of quiet neighborhood, and for me, like I said, PB and OB along the coast works out really well. Contraband Glacier National Park is at the top of my to-do list. Man, it is definitely one of my favorite parks. I definitely recommend it. Will you be doing any work camping later in the year? The Beet Harvest is on the radar for me. It's something that I've applied for. I'm pretty much ready to go for it, but I'm not 100% set on it, but more than likely I'm going to be doing the Beet Harvest. Nothing else though, no Amazon or anything like that this year, at least not as of right now. Isaac VR, do you have a worst experience while being on the road? Not really. I can't really think of anything that was like this horrible, terrible experience. I've had a couple of run-ins with police officers. Once, in Albuquerque not too long ago when I was in, in New Mexico there at the Walmart, and then another time in Carmel by the Sea, that very wealthy town. I'm sure most of you guys who have seen my videos know about that experience. And even that wasn't really that bad. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and had to go somewhere else, but the guy was really nice, and I ended up meeting a pretty cool guy and getting to chat with him a little bit. So I don't know, nothing really absolutely terrible terrible that sticks out as of right now. Hopefully it stays that way. Kaylee Ann Koshran says, "Hey Nate, love your channel. Thank you. I live in Port Angeles, Washington. Do you ever get that far north? If so, I'd love to meet you." Yeah, at some point I will get back up there. I was in Seattle last year around September. I spent time in Seattle and like Central Washington, and then I went to the Gorge for a concert series out there, and it was really awesome. But probably not this year. I see myself maybe getting back to Washington maybe at some point next year. I'd love to go back and check it out at some point in the summer though, definitely. Mastering Plane, "Hey Nate, love your channel. What editing software do you use?" I use Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. Chris Allen Arnett, "Ramen surprise. Boil ramen noodles for 2 minutes." I did read this. It looks like a really awesome little cheap recipe that I think I'm probably going to try at some point. It looks pretty good. Also, fala português, senhor. Sim, mas não muito bem, não posso falar português. Not very well. My accent's terrible. I'm not very good at it. Jake Weisenberg, "Hey Nate, huge fan. Thank you. How do you know where you're going next? Does seasonal jobs play a part in the decision?" I think the number one indicator is probably weather. That's the biggest thing. Like, I'm here in San Diego because the weather is amazing during the summer. It's not too hot by the coast. You can sleep at night. It's really comfortable. And then, yeah, I mean, seasonal jobs as well. The fact that I can work as a surf instructor here and make pretty good money this summer and start saving some money is definitely part of it, definitely. So yeah, probably number one is weather, and number two is seasonal jobs. Alcumaro, "If a subscriber in the city that you're currently in invites you to the home for dinner, a place to park, or anything, would you accept it?" More than likely, yeah. I mean, maybe it would be smart for me for us to like meet up at some point, like in a public place, and chat for a little bit, and then, you know, next time you can meet up at your house, just because I don't want to be going to like random people's houses in the middle of nowhere and stuff. But yeah, more often than not, I would definitely be cool with that. I'm always open to meeting subscribers and viewers. Next question is from Cidadude. They say, "Are you from the East Coast, like Stewart Beach or Vero Beach or anything?" Just based on the area code, I guess, being the same as my number for my Battle.net username. I'm not from that area, no, but I have been there before. I do like that part of Florida. It's really cool. And then, yeah, regarding the 4-digit code, I'll have to go on there and add you once I have a second, and we can try to meet up and play a couple games on there. Josh Ryan, "How often do you do laundry? How stinky does the car get? How hard is it to find a laundromat?" I do laundry usually every 1 to 2 weeks, never any more than that. I can't really stretch it any more than a week. And then I've never had an issue finding a laundromat ever. Even in like the smallest towns, there's always a laundromat. There's always somewhere to do laundry. And then, "How stinky does the car get?" I don't think it gets that stinky in here. I think that I keep it pretty clean, but I could also just be used to it. Who knows? Derek Nelson, "Do you enjoy fishing?" That's actually something that I've never really gotten into. You know, I think I would enjoy it a lot. I think that it would be very peaceful and would be fun, but I think I have too many hobbies as well, so it might be kind of crazy to get into that as well. But I don't know, definitely something to consider, definitely. Flossy Missiles, how much do you make off of YouTube? YouTube, it really varies in terms of income and AdSense revenue and stuff like that. I mean, you know, some months it'll be less, some months it'll be more. I can't really say exactly because it changes so much, but I can say that it's basically like having a part-time job. It's not like being a full-time or anything like that. It's definitely not enough money to live off of or anything. It's enough to, you know, have as a little bit of spending money, and it's definitely a good thing, but it's definitely not enough to support me fully. Maybe at some point it will be, hoping that it will, but as of right now it's not. Azul Creates, "Hey Nate, I really enjoy your videos. I have a question. How do you play video games in the element? I'm just wondering because I'm thinking about van life, but I want to keep my PS4 and be able to play." It's definitely possible to be able to keep your PS4. For a while, I looked at maybe trying to get like an Xbox One Slim and install it in here, and then like maybe like a TV that I could stow away and play, because I do. It's a really good question. I don't think anyone's really ever asked it before, but I do like video games. I do like to game sometimes, and I haven't really been able to. Basically, the answer to your question is I haven't really, but what I did is I switched over to PC gaming for more things than not, and I mean pretty much just Overwatch at this point, but I learned how to play with a keyboard and mouse, which you kind of have to do if you're going to do like any sort of first-person shooter on PC, because it's just so much faster. Controller really puts you behind everyone else. You just don't have the same reaction time as you do with a keyboard and mouse, so I feel like, yeah, I just had to switch to PC, and that's kind of what I've done. Now I have this, which is my workstation, and you know, works for me as a laptop, and then I can also use it to game every once in a while as well. James Borsheim, "Hi Nate, looks like you got a bunch of questions here about the girlfriend. So, How long have you been dating? We've been dating since January. What does she think of your minimalist lifestyle? She thinks it's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, she's not like a minimalist herself or anything like that, but she's becoming more open to the idea, and she definitely thinks she's okay with it, I guess. And then would she join you on the road? Perhaps if you increase the size of your van. I don't know yet. You know, we've talked about it. It's in the back of our mind. It's possibly something that could happen, but there's really no definitive time or anything like that on there. It's probably not going to be for a long while. She does not have a YouTube channel. And then you said, is she an avid ocean surfer, including the flip-flops? No, she's not much of a ocean surfer. No, that was her first time in that last video. So not yet. Maybe one day she'll get into it, but not right now. And then friends and family, have they met or do they know about your girlfriend? Yeah, they do. A lot of them have actually met her, and yeah, they all know about her. Cameron Crow, what's up, Nate? Just out of curiosity, do you listen to any podcasts? And if not, I would highly recommend the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I really don't listen to too many podcasts, actually really not any at all, but it's something that I'd like to maybe get into at some point. The thing is, when I'm driving, I really enjoy using that time to listen to music. I love listening to music, and so I usually choose to listen to music over anything else, but I would like to start getting into some podcasts. That would be pretty cool. Noel Vallejo, hey Nate, 2 questions. Knowing now that you have a girlfriend, will she be part of the EVL Element Van Life permanently? Probably not permanently. She's gonna be, because we live in different parts of the country, obviously. So, but she'll be in other videos, I'm sure, going forward. And then, how do you keep a strong relationship? It's pretty much just like any other long distance relationship. We try to talk to each other as much as we can and kind of go from there. Are you going to be investing in a Thule rack for added storage? That's an interesting idea. I mean, I think that if we ever did make that step to travel together or something like that, we'd probably just invest in a bigger vehicle, though. That would be the first thing before any sort of roof rack storage or anything like that. Doris C, did you have any problems with immigration stops on the highway? That's a really good question. I really never did, actually. I guess I was pretty lucky to not have any, because I have the blackouts on the windows and stuff. That's definitely a reasonable concern. I think one time I was coming up from Big Bend National Park and the guy talked to me more than normal. Mostly they'll just ask, are you a U.S. citizen? And you say yes, and then you drive away. But this guy, you know, are you a U.S. citizen? I said yes, and then he kind of started asking me a couple of questions. Nothing serious. He was mostly just curious about why I had surfboards in the middle of Texas. So we chatted for a little bit, and then I just kind of went on my way. Mike Owen is the last question here. Where are you originally from? Love the channel. Thank you. Might move into my Ofo Tahoe. I think you might have mentioned that before. Someone else mentioned a Tahoe in the last Q&A. I'm not sure if it was you, but right on to that. And then I'm originally from the south coast of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, right on the border there. So that sums it up for all the questions this week. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you all in the next one.